America needs a higher wage right now. Senator Bernie Sanders weighs in. Check it out. Leave your comments, ding the bell, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. Bernie Sanders, ranking member of the Senate Budget Committee, among many other things, sanders.senate.gov. Senator, welcome back to the program. I understand you've got big stuff coming up between COVID.
Chairman of the Budget Committee, not ranking member anymore.
Oh, that's right, Chairman. God bless you. So we've got the COVID relief bill, and also you've got a hearing tomorrow on Walmart. Tell us about these things.
Well, what I want to just mention to the listeners is, as a nation today, I think we can all appreciate we face a level of crisis that we have not faced in our lifetimes. I mean, 2020 was the worst year anybody has ever experienced. That's just a fact. And you know, Tom, I think you have been talking about it. I know that it's not only the pandemic, and it's not only the economic decline, and it's not only the threat of eviction, and it's not only that people can't feed their children. It is the isolation, and you know that people are feeling mental health crisis facing this country. So we got a lot out there that has to be dealt with. And what we have done, working with the White House, is put together a very comprehensive program, I think the likes of which we have not seen in a very long time, that addresses the needs of working families. And
how do you see this playing out? You're talking about the COVID stimulus bill.
I am.
This is. Yeah.
Let me explain. Reconciliation is you know, the rules here in the Senate are really arcane and in many ways absurd. To get normal legislation passed, you need 60 votes because people could filibuster it or just object. So this is a process, a budget reconciliation process, by which we can do it with 50 votes plus a tie-breaking vote from the vice president, which is probably where we are. There is no Republican who's indicated that he or she is coming close to supporting what we're trying to do. So what we are trying to do is make sure that every working-class American, $75,000 for a person or less, $150,000 for a family or less, will get, on top of the $600 that they recently got, another $1,400. So that means if you're a family of four, husband, wife, two kids, that's $5,600, which in this particular time could mean a lot to a lot of families. We are going to extend unemployment benefits through September with a $400 supplement on top of what you normally would get. We are going to raise, if I have anything to say about it, the minimum wage to $15 an hour over a 4-year period. We're going to do something, Tom, that we don't talk about enough in this country, is childhood poverty, especially in minority communities, is outrageously high, one of the highest in the world. And we're going to cut childhood poverty by expanding the child tax credits. If you're a mom or dad out there and you got kids, you're going to get a lot of help through this bill. We're putting a lot of money into COVID, obviously, to make sure that people get the vaccines they need as quickly as possible. We produce the vaccines that we need. And we're doing a million other things. One of the areas that I'm working on is, you know, at the end of this year, kids are going to be behind in their school. Many kids have had their education disrupted. Put a lot of money into summer programs for kids, recreation and educational programs. You know, child care, health care. This is a very comprehensive bill, which I think will be of great help to working class families all over the country. And what we're seeing is that it's supported it's a very popular program, supported by something like 70% of the American people, including over 40% of Republicans. So when we talk about bipartisanship, we talk about unity. Speaking to the crises facing working class families is a way you bring about unity. Unfortunately, we don't see that unity here on Capitol Hill because we don't have one Republican prepared to support it, despite the fact that 40% of Republicans do support it.
Do you think that this, what appears to be a strategy emerging coming out of both the work that you're doing and President Biden, of saying, yeah, we're going to call this bipartisan, even if a single Republican doesn't vote for it, simply because the vast majority of Americans of both parties actually want it? I mean,
That's right.
We have to redefine that word bipartisan and get the damn news media to do the same thing, it seems.
Exactly. Hey, I have not seen legislation. Now, maybe I'm wrong on this, but significant legislation which was so popular and which had so much bipartisan support. You know, I wish it was more than 40% of Republicans, but that's a lot. And that would translate, 40% to 50 senators would be 20 senators supporting it. But we got 0 senators supporting it. So I think the point to be made is that the Republican Party here in Washington is way out of touch with the needs of ordinary Americans. And we have got to make that clear to the American people. And the other point is there's a debate. You know, what does bipartisanship mean? And does that mean that you compromise, that you come up with something that is so weak, so useless, that it doesn't mean anything to anybody? Hey, we got a great compromise bill, but it doesn't impact anybody. So in my view, what we need to do is address the needs of the American people. If Republicans here in the Senate and the House want to come on board, that's great. Let's listen to them. But most importantly, you got to address the needs of the American people. And if Republicans refuse to do that, I think they're going to pay a political price, and we should make that happen.
Yeah, let's hope. Now, I understand also you've got a hearing tomorrow on Walmart. Tell me about that.
Yes, we do. Well, it's not just on Walmart. Here's the issue. One of the scandals that exists in the American economy today is that half of our people, Tom, are living paycheck to paycheck. And I know you know what that means. And it means that you get paid, and you got to pay the rent, you got to pay, put gas in the car, you got to buy food for the kids, and at the end of the week you got nothing. That's it. You're living paycheck to paycheck. And if during that week your car breaks down, or your landlord raises the rent, or your wife gets sick, well, you're in financial crisis. Half the American people are living in that situation. And one of the reasons for that, obviously, is that wages are much too low in America. And one of the reasons for that is Congress has not raised the minimum wage since 2007, and it now stands at all of $7.25 an hour. Anybody out there think that any human being in America could survive on $7.25 or $9 or $10 an hour? I don't think so. So in our legislation, we're going to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, and we've got to deal with the parliamentarian. And I won't go through all of that stuff, but what we're doing tomorrow is having a hearing, making a point that is not made often enough. And that is that you have large, profitable corporations like Walmart, like McDonald's, like Burger King, like Dollar General, Dollar Tree, all of these large corporations that pay their workers starvation wages. And if you're paying workers starvation wages, those workers end up having to go on food stamps. They have to go on Medicaid. They have to go maybe in public housing. They have to get public assistance because you can't make it on $8 or $9 an hour, which is what some of these companies are paying. And the theme of tomorrow's hearing is to say, why should the taxpayers of this country have to subsidize the Walton family, who own Walmarts and are the wealthiest family in America? They were $200 billion, $200 billion, and the starting wages at Walmart is $11 an hour. So I don't think that the middle class and working class of this country should be subsidizing Walmart. They should be paying their workers a living wage. That's what the theme is.
Yeah. Meanwhile, down in Alabama, we have an Amazon operation that's trying to unionize. What's the state of unionization in America in general? I know the Supreme Court and multiple Republican administrations have taken a meat axe to the old Wagner Act and subsequent updates to it.
Right.
Where are we at?
Absolutely.
We've got about
right.
2 minutes here.
Thank you for raising that again. It's not a sexy issue, and it's not an issue that media talks about. But it is an enormously important issue, and thanks for raising it. Here's the simple fact. If you are a member of a union, doesn't mean you're going to get rich, but everything being equal, you're going to earn more money than non-union workers who do the same work as you do. You're going to have better benefits, and you're going to have better working conditions. And the answer is pretty obvious. Why? Because you're not alone. You can sit down with your union and negotiate a contract that will provide better wages and benefits for you. That's what a union does. And companies understand that. And for many, many years, we have had companies making it as hard as possible for workers to join unions. They brainwash workers. They take them into the back room and they say, unions are terrible, unions are this, and if you join a union, we're going to shut down the plant, we're going to go to China. You know, if you join a union, you know, and you got union organizers, people active who get fired. Oh, you were late 3 years ago. You're going to be fired from your job. So there's been a tremendous anti-union effort. And right now we are working on legislation that would make it illegal for companies to act illegally. I mean, which is what they're doing now, prohibiting people from exercising their constitutional rights to form a union. So one of the things we want to do is grow the trade union movement in this country, which will give, in my view, will be a major step forward in growing the middle class in America.